Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Are you the host?
No.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Catherine from SEB Housing. I know a few people are still joining. If everybody could just be on mute when they come in. We're just going to minimize the noise during the lottery tonight. So this is the lottery for the 52 affordable rental units at Allee on the Charles and Newton. And we're going to get the lottery underway in just a few moments, but there's a few things that I want to go over first and just give you some background on the applicants that we have. If you have any questions during the meeting, we're just going to ask that you type them into the Zoom chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question, and then just go ahead and put yourself on mute again so we can minimize that noise, like I said. When you came into the meeting, you saw that, or you heard that the meeting is being recorded. It's going to be posted on SEB Housing's YouTube channel after the lottery tonight, in case anybody wasn't able to see it and wants to review the recording. And again, just want to give you some background information on how the lottery is going to work, how many applicants we have. All of this information is going to be provided to you after tonight. So everybody that was in the lottery will have a email come to them either tonight or tomorrow morning. And again, all this information will be on there, but still want to share it with you. So everybody who is in the lottery, all households should already have their application numbers. So that was the number that came to you via email, and it started with APP for application. So APP dot a series of numbers. So for example, APP dot 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you don't have that, please let us know by typing into the chat there so we can get that to you, because the number that you were sent is going to be what is on the waiting list and what is drawn tonight. It won't be your name for privacy purposes. So there are 52, like I said, total affordable units. There are various income tiers for these affordable units. So there is one unit at 50% AMI, one unit at 65% AMI, and that's area median income. And the remaining units are all at 80% of the area median income. So that's what your household must fall under to qualify for those units. So there are 5 total studio apartments. There were a total of 118 completed applications for those studios. There are 22 one-bedroom apartments, and there were a total of 304 applicants for those one bedrooms. There's 19 total 2-bedroom affordable apartments, and there were a total of 394 completed applications for those units. Oh, excuse me, for the 2-bedroom units, for the 65% 2-bedroom units, and then there was 333 for the 80% AMI units. And then there's also 6 total 3-bedroom affordable apartments. And there were 416 applicants for that 50% AMI unit and 296 applicants for that 80% AMI unit. Again, all that information and more will be emailed to you after this session by tomorrow morning. It's going to have a further breakdown of who's on each waiting list and more information about the applicant pool. So in case you're interested in that, for example, you could see how many local preference households are on the waiting list that you're on, because those people will have priority and that sort of thing. So back when you completed your application, you will have indicated and we will have confirmed your household type. So that was either 1, 2, or 3. Just want to mention that because for the 2-bedroom waiting list, just a reminder that type 2 and type 3 households will have priority over any type 1 households. And for 3-bedroom apartments, type 3 households will have priority on that waiting list. And that's, again, just because the program, the affordable housing program, is designed so that households don't have priority. Smaller households don't have priority for units that they may not actually require in terms of their household size. So that email that you received from SCB Housing with your lottery application number confirmed your household type as well as the unit sizes that your household is eligible for. So those are the waiting lists that you will be on after this lottery. There's also a local preference for 13 of the affordable units. So if you answered yes to the local preference question on the lottery application, you will have preference on some of the waiting lists. You just want to keep in mind that you still haven't been asked to provide verification of that local preference. So if you work full-time, live in Newton, you will be required later on to provide verification of that. That's if you're asked to move forward after this lottery, you'll be asked to provide that verification of local preference along with your income, assets, that sort of thing. There's also 10 affordable units that are equipped with sensory or disabled accessible features, and households who indicated a need for those features are going to have priority for those 10 units over households of the same size or household type that don't require those accessibility features. So again, on that email that came from us, you know whether or not you applied for those units or not, and if you'll have priority for them. So I know there's been some chat messages here. My colleague Dave is answering some of them I saw, so thank you for that, Dave. Some application numbers that you didn't have, so great, okay. All right, so when the lottery takes place tonight, you're not going to know exactly where you fall on that waiting list or what your chances are of having being called forward to move forward in the process and submit your income, asset information, apply for an apartment. And that's because we still need to sort the results from tonight based on those priorities that I just mentioned. So there's local preference households that are going to be drawn tonight. There are type 1, type 2, type 3 households. There's households who need accessibility features, all that sort of thing. So once our goal is always to sort the results the same day. So tonight, if we're able to sort those results, you will get an email later on tonight. If we don't finish until tomorrow morning, you'll get that email tomorrow morning that's going to have the waiting list attached to them. So you'll see your wait list number on those lists, and you'll know if you're at the top of the list, if you're further down the list, what your chances might be of moving forward. So tonight, there's going to be 2 lottery drawings. I'm going to be using the website random.org to complete these drawings, rather than if you've been familiar with any other lotteries, sometimes we're drawing the numbers from a box. Given the volume here, we want to try to get or we always want to try to get a truly random selection. So I'm going to be using random.org. I'm going to screen share with you so you can see it happen. I'm also going to do kind of a sample screen share so you see how it's going to work in just a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first do the local preference drawing. There were 208 households who indicated that they either live in Newton or work full-time in the city of Newton. So those are going to be the 208 households in the first drawing, which is a local preference drawing. So I will insert those 208 numbers, those application numbers, into the into the list randomizer that's on random.org. I'm going to screen share so you see it, and it's going to digitally generate a random order of those application numbers. So we're doing it this way again, just to try to keep the results as random as possible. And just for some more transparency, you can actually see it happen. After that local preference drawing, I'm going to put all 1,103 application numbers into random.org. Those are the number of people who have applied for this lottery. And everybody will be in that general drawing. So there'll be those 2 drawings that happen. Again, the randomization will happen instantaneously. You'll see it on the screen. I'll do some screenshots to make sure I capture it and all of that. And I'm going to show you an example of how that is going to happen by sharing my screen now. Just to give you an idea, it's going to take 1 second here. So I'm sharing my screen with you now. Anybody who's not just on the phone, who's on the computer should be able to see it. So I just went to random.org, and then I'm going to go to list randomizer. And of course, I'm not putting in the lottery numbers now, but say I'm putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I click randomize, it's going to rearrange those numbers and it's going to give a random order. So when I do this with the lottery numbers, there's going to be hundreds and then over 1,000 numbers that it will spit back out at me. But for this, I'm just going to click randomize, and there are the numbers in the order that random.org generated. I will share this with you. You'll see it on the screen. So you can see where you fall. Again, though, it won't be the waiting list at that point because we still have to sort it by priorities and preferences and household types and all that. But you can still see where you fell. So I'm going to stop the screen share real quick, but I will share it again when I do the drawing. Okay. So what comes out, that random.org drawing, what those drawings do is to help us at SUB Housing properly sort the results onto the waiting list. So that waiting list determines the order in which households, lottery households, will get to reserve affordable units. After the lottery, like I already mentioned this a couple of times, but an email will be sent to all lottery households with information on next steps. That will go out tomorrow at the latest. The waiting list, all of the waiting lists will be attached to that email so you can see where you fall. And if you applied for more than one unit size, you're going to be on more than one waiting list. So if you applied for both a studio and a 1-bedroom, for example, you're going to find your number on more than one list. You'll see that the numbers of the top lottery households on each waiting list have been highlighted in green, and that's indicating that those households are going to be invited to move forward in the process by completing a lease application with the leasing office over at Allee on the Charles. The leasing office might invite more households than we have highlighted, but we're only going to be highlighting those top households. So if there's one unit, there's one 50% AMI unit, it's just one person that's going to be highlighted, but a few more people might be called forward by the leasing office just because they want to make sure that they're screening multiple households in case the top households drops off, maybe they're ineligible, or they just didn't follow through with the process. If you
Who's the management company?
The management company, Dave, is it Greystar?
You mentioned leasing office. It must be a management company.
It is. Dave, I don't know if it's Greystar. Off the top of my head.
I think it's Lincoln. Give me 1 second, I'll confirm.
Lincoln Management. Yeah,
Nope,
and their
Greystar. It's Greystar. Yeah.
Okay. And their information will be shared with you in that email that you receive tonight or tomorrow morning. So their email address and their phone number will be on that email. So if you're found lease eligible by the leasing office, the households with the highest priority on the waiting list are going to have the first chance to select and reserve an apartment. So if you're not one of those top households on the waiting list, you won't, unfortunately, be moving forward in the process at this point. So if for any reason households ahead of you on the waiting list, those top households on the waiting list ultimately decide not to rent the unit or found ineligible, we will be moving forward or moving down the waiting list to households who have the lower placements on the waiting list. That happens all the time. It's not usually the top household that leases every unit. So some of you who are further down the waiting list will eventually be contacted. And so it's important too for everybody on this call who submitted a lottery application. We have only completed an initial program screening of your household. So nobody has submitted income, asset, or tax verification to us yet. You haven't been found lease eligible by the leasing office. So even if you're that top household on some of these waiting lists following the lottery, you don't want to give notice to any current landlord that you have if you're renting, because you don't yet know if you're qualified to rent a unit at Allee on the Charles. So once a household has been found lease eligible and you reserve the unit, The leasing office is going to notify SCB Housing, and then we're going to ask that you submit all of your income, asset, and tax documentation at that point. So we can do your final program eligibility review at that point. And, you know, you just want to make sure that those two processes have been completed before you give notice to your current landlord. Every household as well should have already received a link to the documentation requirements guide that would have been in the same email that you had your application number sent to you in. And that guide details everything you will need to submit for our final income asset review. So hopefully some of you have been able to start gathering some of that information, such as tax returns, pay stubs, that sort of thing. You'll be given about 10 days to submit the information once we request it from you. And we'll work with you if you're submitting some information and maybe don't have all of it right away and all of that. So one final reminder, anybody living in an affordable unit is going to have a recertification every year. So we just remind households to maintain a folder of some sort of, you know, pay stubs, tax records, that sort of thing. So you're prepared when the management office needs to do that each year. And then finally, before the drawing, the management office let me know that the affordable units will be available for the majority of the units will be available for August 1st lease ups, with the remaining units available for September 1st. There's still a few more steps in the process after tonight, after the lottery. So there won't be much of a delay for anybody who is one of the top households that's looking to sign a lease soon. All right, so I see some more questions in here, but it looks like Dave is on top of it. So again, thank you for that. Special features, that just means a disabled accessible unit, a hearing impaired accessible unit. Those are the units that have those special features. If you need those special features and you indicated that in your lottery application, you will have priority for those units. Hearing impaired units might be, you know, flashing lights if the fire alarm's going off, that sort of thing. All right, so I'm going to get set up here for the drawing, and then I will screen share again. If anybody has any questions, any other questions, let us know.
Who's in charge of choosing the property management company?
The developer.
The developer is who?
Dave, I don't have the developer's name offhand either, but I can look that.
Criterion.
Say it again?
Criterion.
Criterion.
And does the city of Newton back this, and does DHCD approve it?
Yes.
Well, this is a mass housing property, so DHCD actually isn't involved, but mass housing has provided the initial project eligibility letter and has worked with the development team up through final approval. So they're certainly aware of the project. They've looked at the various components and approved them.
Criterion is the developer and mass housing approved it?
That's right.
Correct.
And what is the Office of Mass Housing? It's not DHCD.
Mass Housing is a separate affordable housing program administrator in the state. Developers can do 40B projects either with Mass Housing as a program administrator or MHP or DHCD.
Are they charging for parking?
There's going to be one free park space.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so I'm getting everything set up here. Does anybody have any final questions just before I do the drawing? I'm going to get back on random.org here, and I'm going to get my list all set up here with the lottery numbers. Is there a garage? Let me just pull up our info here. One moment. One sec here, bear with me. I don't have any info on a garage. I just have that the first free spot will be provided. So I do not know for sure. The pet policy, the information I have on the pet policy is that the pets are allowed. They're subject to restriction with a 100-pound weight limit and breed restrictions for dogs, obviously. There's a limit of 2 pets. They don't specify what types of animals, so that would be something that you'd want to check in with the management office about. How many people applied for the local 3-bedroom? I have that info for you, just a moment. There are 296 applicants, but 51 of those applicants have local preference. Yes, I believe there is washer dryer hookup. That's usually the case, I know, with these new buildings, but I'm going to go ahead with the drawing. Dave, if you could take a look at these other questions that are coming in here about the property, and then I'm going to screen share again here with the drawing. Okay, so here comes the screen share. All right, so what you're seeing now is my list of lottery application numbers. This is everyone's lottery application number that's in the local drawing, which is the first drawing that I'm going to be doing. There's 208 application numbers here. It's going to look like it's 209 at the bottom just because we have that header at the top. But these are all the households there. So I'm going to go back into random.org, and I'm going to copy and paste all of those application numbers into this list randomizer feature. So here I go. I'm going to scroll down, so I'm doing a shortcut here, so you can see it. Copy. 208 numbers are in here. This is the local preference drawing for Allee on the Charles. I'm going to click randomize, and here are the random numbers.
How many bedrooms?
This is not, we only do 2 drawings. So there's a local preference drawing and a general drawing, and this is the local preference drawing. So the waiting list is going to be, the waiting lists, I should say, are going to be generated after the call today. So you're not going to know where you fall on the waiting list until after. So I'm going to go up to the top of this list again. I'm going to copy and paste the drawing results. Just bear with me for 1 second. And I'm just going to make it a little bit easier to see here. I'm going to save these results so I don't lose them here. And then we are going to do the general drawing. And then we will screen share away and you will be able to see what we've got here. So this is the local drawing. These are the top numbers here. I'm going to go to the general drawing. This is everyone's number. So everyone who has a lottery application number for Allee on the Charles, their numbers are here. If I scroll down, you're going to see that there's actually 1,103 because we have that top heading cell there. So I'm going to take all of these numbers and I'm going to put them into the list randomizer again. And I'm going to do the drawing for everyone. And this includes, again, the local preference household. Copy and paste. Again, this is the general drawing for Allee on the Charles. So this is everyone, every lottery number is in here. Says there were 1,103, as you can see there. So again, I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to also, excuse me, I'm going to screenshot it as well. And then it'll be much cleaner for you when it's in this sheet here. And then I'm going to save this. So Dave, who has been helping out with the questions on the chat, will be able to help out with questions. So just one moment. Okay. So the drawing's all set. Let me just screenshot this real quick. And then I'm going to go back to that list that has the drawing results, and you will be able to take a look at it as I scroll through. Okay. So I'm just going to leave this up for a moment. This is a local drawing. These are the top lottery households for the local drawing. I'm going to save. Well, actually, Dave, you should be able to open that up if you need to as well. But so these are the top lottery households for the local drawing. I'm going to scroll down. You can see your number here. Be on the lookout for it. If you don't see it and you expect to be on the local waiting list here, or sorry, the local drawing, let us know. And then with all of the numbers for the general drawing, understandably, it may be difficult for you to see it on the screen. Again, these drawings don't carry much weight right now. You can see if you're near the top of the list, you can see if you're at the bottom of the list, but we haven't sorted them into the waiting list yet. So you're looking at households who applied for 3 bedrooms, you're looking at households who applied for studios and so forth. The priorities and preferences have not yet been taken into consideration when you're looking at the order of these. Go to the bottom here, and then I know that there's questions in the chat. Almost at the bottom. Local drawing is what we're looking at. So there's 208 households on the local list. Okay, thanks, Dave, for the answer on the washer dryer. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the general drawing here. Top households for the general drawing. This is everyone who has a lottery application number and that was part of this lottery. These are, you can see about the top 19 households on your screen right now. It'll take me a while to scroll down to 1,100. So if you do not see your application number and you want us to quickly look it up, we can. But again, like I said, it's not going to mean a whole lot until we've sorted the results, which will be tonight, tomorrow morning at the latest. So you'll have your waiting list. You'll have all of the waiting lists sent to you regardless of which list you're actually on. You will have all of those attached to your the email that comes with next step.
Catherine, where did you save the duplicate draw results so I can start looking numbers up?
I'll save it for you now. For some reason, I thought you'd be able to open it while I had it in here. There you go.
Thanks.
All right, still scrolling down here. We're at about 2:30. I know everybody's gonna ask here. We'll try to get some of these out to you. Again, if you see your number here, you can see your order drawn is right here, and then your lottery application number is next to it. So these fields here is what you're looking at.
Did you send a Zoom link to people?
Yes, anyone who was qualified for the lottery was sent their application number with a Zoom link. It wasn't publicized.
I didn't get a Zoom link. It just said join Zoom, but there was no Zoom link.
Well, so sorry, there wasn't a hyperlink, but there was the meeting ID and all of that you would type in.
I could only call in. There was no link I could click on to see what you're doing.
Right. So you would put in if you don't have access to view a screen right now on your phone, then you wouldn't be able to see what's happening right now. But the results will be sent to everyone after the fact.
I can't write in questions in this chat for the guy that you're saying is answering questions.
Sure. So if you want to ask your question while you're talking, you can do that.
Yes. To clarify once more, the city of Newton had nothing to do with this.
Correct, I believe. I mean, the mass housing, the developer and mass housing were working together, and they went through mass housing rather than the other agencies that Dave mentioned to get the 40B permit.
Don't they need backing from a committee or commission at the city of Newton to fulfill their 10% quota of affordable housing?
The 10% quota is these units will be added to the list of units, the affordable units in Newton. But
yes, so didn't the city, any commission in Newton in any way have to back this first?
Well, they have to issue a comprehensive permit. So yes, they have a lot of, they've considered the project in detail, looked at tons of plans, and issued a lengthy comprehensive permit decision, which I'm sure is recorded and on record.
And the Commission on Planning, Community and Planning.
I don't know to what
As
extent.
Brookline did for Babcock Place, which you handled, SEB handled.
Yeah, I can't speak to what involvement they may or may not have had.
There's a planning commission that does this initially, as they did for Babcock Place. And the developer would have been Slater Family Holdings, which then hired Park Management. As
Okay,
you said, Criterion.
If you want to have a discussion about the sort of city's involvement and other aspects, we can certainly hang back after. But I think right now, a lot of folks just want to know where they were drawn in the lottery. So can we have that discussion after? Because there's already a number of households who just want to see where their number was drawn. But I'm happy to stay
Yes.
back if you want to have additional questions about the permitting. And
Yes, I do. Yes, and not being able to get on the Zoom too. I'd like to ask you about that.
Well, do you have a computer in front of you right now?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, so do you want me to give you the information to get on?
I have the lottery number notification. I clicked on join Zoom, but it would mean that I'd have to join and register for my own Zoom account. There was no link to Zoom that said allow or enter the password. It just had an alternative to call from my phone, which is a landline. So I clicked on Zoom, didn't register for a Zoom account. I'm physically disabled and I have difficulty with the computer. So it blocked my ability to see this. I was able to see the YouTube version of the drawing for Babcock Place, but I wasn't able to participate as a Zoom presence in that. I saw it online. And this time I thought I would be able to be online and participate, but it turned out not, you didn't provide access with a link.
Well, can I give you that information now? I don't think you need to register. I think you can just join.
You should just
I
be able
can
to
try,
click join
yes.
meeting.
So here's
I can
the
try.
Okay, so plug in zoom.com/join.
Yep, I clicked on it. It brings me to join meeting and it says on the upper right, sign up free for Zoom. I don't want a Zoom account.
If you just select join meeting, you should be able to, I can't get out of this Zoom meeting to look at it right now, but you should just be able
It
to
won't
join.
let me join the meeting. It's asking for a personal link name or a meeting ID.
Yeah, the meeting ID is in all the materials. So that it's a 10 or so digit number that was in the materials.
And I have that. So for the meeting ID,
Right,
ready?
yeah, we can put that in chat as well if you need to.
But she
Yeah.
can't see it. So
Oh,
it's
right.
I can't.
Okay, so put this in 857-2736-5609.
Thank you.
And then the passcode is 276-4.
Okay, it didn't ask for a passcode. It just said allow and log. Oh, hang on. Yes, passcode.
276410.
Got it.
Great.
Dave, I'm starting
Thank you.
from the top on the chat numbers.
Sorry, where are you on the chats and getting
I'm
back?
starting at the top. I'm on 0883.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Sure.
Okay, so that local list, right? It's a mixture of 2-bedroom studio, all the apartments.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
so that number doesn't really tell you where you are in the waiting. I mean,
Correct.
okay. And another question, how many household would they select for 3-bedroom for local? And because I live in Newton,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
I did
so-
both. I did both.
Yep.
I'm
So
confused.
no, that's
Mhm.
okay. Dave, I just was on 0073, but I haven't been able to get to that one. So 0073 is the next one in
Okay.
line.
All right.
That's me, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah, so you'll get a
Mhm.
response in just a minute.
You're
So,
eight. Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, you were 18th in the local. Oh, no, sorry. 33rd in the local drawing.
Because you put 18.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. I
Oh
apologize.
my God, that sounds worse. 33.
But
33
again, it's
in the local. And then 359th in the general.
and for the 3-bedroom 80% units, there are 3 units. And there were 51 people who qualified for local preference.
They only choosing how many? Just three?
There's 3 units, right?
Three people for,
Three
so,
people initially will be called forward. If any of those households do not qualify, then the list will, the households that are further down the lottery will be called to move forward. So, still a lot of households on that list. It's a very popular lottery. Okay.
so out of all those affordable, how many units they have for affordable?
So there's 52 total affordable units at the property. There are 3 affordable 3-bedroom 80% AMI units. And then there's different
Okay.
breakdowns for every, yeah. And all of that is broken down, both in the materials, but also in the information that will be sent to you after the lottery with the waiting list. So you're going to see the breakdown of how many units, how many applicants, how many local preference households for the local list, what household type everybody is, that sort of thing. Okay, so
And
couple more
Cap,
questions.
I'm getting people their numbers and I'm just
Yep.
direct messaging them back so I can keep track of where I am.
Okay, where were you now?
I'm at 1228. I'll do 1130.
Okay. Did you do 1117?
Nope.
So again, just a reminder, the number that we're giving you, if you're asking for your placement, is not your placement on any waiting list yet. This is just the number that you were drawn in the lottery. So it doesn't give you a whole lot of information. I can definitely understand why you would want to know it, having attended the session tonight.
Okay, I have a question.
Mhm.
I did an application and I don't know how many email you guys sent back, but I only received one email that says the response, it just says response to my application. I received that email the same day of the application. And then when I was going through the response, and there was a thing that says #1 household. I don't know what that means. And then underneath that, they were saying that according to my information, it says that I qualified for a 1-bedroom household. However, the information that's in the application have 6 people. So that was my question.
Okay, so the email that you received said that you were a type 1 household, which means that something on the application that you submitted, if it was an online application, you may not have listed out the 6 members of your household because the information that was sent in that email, we had asked that everyone, review that email, confirm that it was accurate, having, checked if you had applied for local preference or disabled accessible units or the number of members in the household. So if it did not say that you were a type 3 household or you had 6 members, then you may not be added to the correct waiting list. So you can email, what I would suggest is emailing info@sebhousing.com, and we can check your application to confirm for you what happened. Because like I said, it'll be unfortunate if the confirmation email that you were sent didn't have all 6 members accounted for, because that might mean that you're not on the waiting list that you would want to be on.
Okay, no, but I did list all the 6 members. I put their ages and because it's like 4 children, 2 adults, so it's there. So I just don't know how did I get back that answer, because
Yeah,
I
so
list
definitely,
everybody there.
yeah, definitely email us just so we can look into that and get a response to you tomorrow. I
Okay.
don't want to not have all the information and give you an answer one way or the other right now. But yeah, info@scbhousing.com. I think you are Ruth, so I'm just going to write that in here for you. So you have the email address that would be best to contact us about with that.
Okay.
We'll get
Do
that
you,
figured out.
do you have 1,000 people on the wait list?
So there's 1,103 completed applications for the lottery. And none of the waiting lists have all of those people on them because different households qualify for different, or applied for and qualify for different unit sizes. So the waiting lists are very long. There's no denying that. But, you know, some of the waiting lists are 300 households long. There are not
I
very
don't-
many units.
I think David is answering people's questions, and evidently, I don't know how I could get into the local. I don't have local preference, but I think he responded to my number and said I was 116, but I don't have local preference, and 912 in the general. But I don't have local preference.
Okay, what was your number?
I think he was replying to mine, but it's APP.0761, but I'm not in the local preference.
Yep, so you were 280th in the general drawing. If you're
Oh, I
looking
see.
at the, yep.
No, I was looking at David's email. I thought he was answering me.
So that if you're looking at the chat, there's a lot of people that are asking for their numbers here. So it might have been someone else's.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep, no problem. Let's see here.
Catherine, it's 0522.
Okay, I'm trying to find that. Let's see.
Got it.
Oh, you're
800.
way down. Okay.
10.
Oh, yep, I think we're caught up there, so thank you for that. Does anybody else have any other questions? I know that it's, you know, it's difficult to, during a lottery, especially of this size, it's difficult to kind of know where you're falling, and you know, just want to remind everyone that you'll have a much better idea of where you stand when the waiting lists are sent to you, which I'm hoping will be tonight. If not tomorrow morning. So you be on the lookout for that email from info@scbhousing.com, and it will have the waiting list attached along with next steps and more
Hello.
information.
Could you tell me where 0800 is, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep, 0800. On the general drawing, 561st, and it look up local drawing. Sorry here. Local drawing 83rd.
83?
Could
Yeah.
you please check
Thank you.
0780 on the general?
General drawing 523rd.
Hello, 0732 in general. Do you see mine?
Sure. Yep. 0732. 475th.
So that means I'm on the waiting list.
Yep. Everybody's going to be on the waiting list that they applied for. So
Yeah.
the waiting list will be sent tonight or tomorrow morning, and you'll see exactly where you stand once we've sorted the results.
Okay, thank you.
Can someone look at
you.
0375?
0375 in the local was number 10. You can still see me searching here if you have your screen open. And then in
Waiting
the
list.
general drawing, 703rd.
Excuse me, can you tell me where 0791 on the local and the general?
Yep, 0791 in the general drawing was drawn 172nd. In the local drawing, You were 157th.
Do disabled children get a preference on the list?
So I see that Dave just answered it, but yeah, if you indicated that there was a need for a handicapped, it said, I think that's what it said on the application. It said if you need a disabled accessible unit, then you will be on those waiting lists. You'll have priority for those.
475. Wrong.
Can you please check number, the app number 1085 for me, please?
1085. On the general list, 453rd. Looks like you weren't on the local.
Oh, the local 475.
Say it again?
Hello. That
Hello,
zero,
could you check 747?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes, hi, could you check 747, please?
0747.
Yes, please.
In the general drawing, you were 50th. And then you weren't on the local.
Hi, can you check 0727, please? Oh, the
Sure,
general.
0727. 290th on the general.
Thank you.
Hi, could you check 1177, please?
0177.
No, 1177, please.
1177.
Thank
You were
you.
585th on the general drawing, and you
Thank
were,
you.
yep.
Thank
What
you.
about
Is there another?
Okay.
Was there?
Hello.
Forget it.
No.
Forget it.
What about 1047?
1047. 877 on the general drawing, and you weren't on the local.
Okay, 0732. Am I in the local?
I just responded to that one.
Oh, okay.
475th in the general.
Excuse not me. In the local?
Not in the local.
Okay.
Just a reminder again to the waiting lists have not been sorted, so these placements don't mean a whole lot to you right now. Your position may be better, it may be lower. It could go either way once we sort the results. So happy to answer any final questions, but just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that.
Could you just check 0021?
Sure, 0021.
Thank
On
you.
the general list, you were 422nd. On the local list, you were 32nd.
So if we were supposed to be on the local list but aren't, what do we do then?
So when you received your lottery application number,
71.
did you indicate that you were local? You had local preference on your lottery application? Because
I think I believe I did, but would it be in the email? Because I remember receiving the email and just kind of looking at the number and not really reading the full email.
Yeah.
Could you check it's 448?
So to answer your question, if you received the confirmation email from us and it said that you indicated no to local preference, then unfortunately you're not on the local drawing, as you can see, so you wouldn't be on any of the waiting lists with that priority.
Okay,
I'm just.
Could you check it's 448?
I'm sorry, can you just, so you had just looked up mine, it was 0021 and you said I was number 32,
Yep.
but it says 0179 is number 32.
No, so this is, I know it's confusing because of the way my screen is, but so these are just all of the local preference application numbers that I copied and pasted into the randomizer. This is the actual order that was drawn. So yeah, you're 32nd. Don't pay attention to this column A. I should hide that at this point. These are the results.
Excuse me, I have a number that I've been told was not in the system today, yet we received notice.
What was your number?
It's 0317.
Did you receive a subsequent notice from SEB saying that there was a duplicate or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of. We've been working with, I don't, I mean, I certainly hope that that wasn't the case because I'm supporting a person who probably might not have tracked through emails. Like,
Okay.
so
0317. So I
we
would,
have an email with all the information, local preference included, 2-bedroom unit, you know, all the Zoom information sent April 7th.
Mhm. Yeah, I would suggest that, I mean, there were some applications that needed to be removed after the fact because there was a duplicate. So if there was a duplicate for the household, then the second lottery number would have been retained. So for example,
Okay.
if someone by mistake sent in two lottery applications, the second one would be the one that was entered into the lottery. So if you could email, I'm going to say it again, if you could email info@sebhousing.com, I can look into that for you separately and get to the bottom of what happened to 0317.
So it's, what's the email address, please?
Sure, info, so info @sebhousing.com. I will put that to everyone here in the chat in case anyone.
Hello, point 0071, please.
Is it 0477?
Point 0071.
0071.
And
You were
local.
Yep, you're 14th in the local drawing.
014.
Yep, and
And
then 188th in the general.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Good.
What? I'm 80.
Can you check 448, please?
So is it 0448?
Yes, 0448.
They put it on.
Yep, so 0448 in the general drawing was 889. And in the local, 197.
Thank you.
Sure.
Can you just, I know I see David Cashman's name. Who's the other name? What's your name, please?
Yep, my name is Catherine.
Catherine with a K?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone
So
else?
Catherine, you called the lottery on Babcock Place, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I'm going to want to ask you a question at the end.
Sure. Anyone else?
Could you
Sorry.
Excuse me, Catherine. The number you provided to me can change depending on the numbers above mines. If there are 2, 1, 2, 3, or studios, correct?
So the number that you got tonight was, or the number that I just told you today is the order in which your number was drawn in the lottery. But when you're actually on the waiting list, we have to sort the numbers into the different unit types in the waiting list. So if if the top 100 people didn't apply for a 3-bedroom, then you could be towards the top of the list that you're on. So you're going to know a lot more. Everybody on this call is going to know a lot more after we sort the results and have the waiting list sent over to you.
Okay. All right. And I have one more question. If you are currently active in an affordable luxury unit and your lease doesn't expire till like the end of November, will there be any wiggle room to allow you to work something out with the current management, or you will be in a position where you have to be forced to move in by August or September?
So your move-in date, anyone's move-in date will be worked out with the management office, but I know that they'll try to work with everyone on a lease date that makes sense for both parties, but not all of these units are going to be leased right away because there's still a couple other steps in the process, right? We still have to do lease screening with the management office. The top lottery households would also have to submit income, asset, and tax documentation. So it's going to take a little while as households drop off the waiting list. So if some of the top households do not qualify or drop off the waiting list, it might take longer. So these units might still be leasing a few months from now. So it could work out. It just really depends on kind of how it shakes out with top households.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much and have a good night.
No problem. You too.
Hi, could you check 0408?
Say the number again.
0408.
0408. 71st on the local list and 414th on the general.
The local is what's the local again?
71st.
71. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you much.
Yeah. No problem.
And Rebecca, you chatted direct message. I can't respond for whatever reason, but 0021 is 422nd on the general list.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to know when you could be getting back to us about whether or not there's a duplicate. I sent you the email.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I'll get back to you by tomorrow morning on that.
All right.
Sorry, could you check 0987 on the general drawing?
Sure. 0987 is 308.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
This is application number 1085.
1085 1085.
Yeah, 1085.
When I asked them,
453rd in the general drawing.
Okay, so the question that I have is that because I had asked a question earlier because I had received like I was you know, like qualified for like the 1 bedroom when I have 6 people in the application. So I just sent an email explain with my info. So like since you're gonna go review the placement for the waiting list, I just don't want it to be placed in the 1 bedroom waiting list. That's why, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if your email is sent, we'll take a look at that and any questions about the placement in the lottery and stuff like that, we'll make sure to answer by tomorrow morning. We just want to make sure we get the results sorted and all of that and get that underway.
Okay, so so by tomorrow I will receive an email.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, we'll confirm which waiting list you're going to be on, and if anything, you know, happened that we need to look into, we'll get to the bottom of it for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Dave, thanks for catching up on those questions.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to get through, well, don't end it yet.
No.
Direct messages that I'm trying to get back to. 0151, you are 266th on the general. And 51st on the local. Were there any other households who direct messaged me who didn't get a response yet? Sorry if there were. There's a lot of messages coming in. It's hard to keep up with.
Can you check 1013, please?
I'll get it.
Okay. Any other questions?
845th, 845th on the general list, 1013. And I'll get back to 1130. Go ahead with the questions.
Okay, so yeah, so my question is that so once the waiting list is set up with all those numbers, like, you know, 1, 2, 3 bedroom, etc. So we will have an idea of where we stand, closer or, you know, either higher up or lower. And so once that's set up, so so let's say somebody's number, like I'm number 453, and I don't know, after everything's set up, I'm still in the 100 numbers. So then I'll be on the waiting list until what, next year or something like that, did you say?
No, so the management office is going to retain these waiting lists for the life of the project. So what's going to happen is if all of the 52 units are leased up within the next month or so, and you weren't one of those households, they're going to check annually with everyone who's on the waiting list to confirm So they'll reach out to everyone annually, once a year, to confirm if you want to remain on the waiting list. And anybody who doesn't respond or doesn't no longer wants to be on the waiting list, they will remove you from the waiting list. But if you do respond and say, yes, I'm still interested in Allee on the Charles, please keep me on the waiting list, they'll do that. But, you know, obviously only as units turn over will the waiting list be looked at.
Okay, so once everything is completed through SEB, so the next process will be through the managing company, is that what you're saying?
Right, and then you would come back to us for final eligibility with your income, asset, and tax documentation. So the first step after the lottery is for those top lottery households on each waiting list to be least screened by the management.
Okay, and the last question that I have is that because you were saying like probably moving date will be like August or September. So you don't know, is it like 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, or you guys have no idea?
I don't know which units are available when, but those were the earliest lease dates that will be available for these units.
Okay, August and September. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm gonna check can I check my number is 0672.
Sure. Oops. 0672. 920th on the general drawing, and it looks like you were not on the local drawing.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so like I said, everybody that was entered into the lottery will be getting a email from us with the waiting list attached, information on next steps, a breakdown of the applicants. And if you have any questions on that, by all means, reach back out. It will be coming from info@sdbhousing.com. So that's what you can expect, the email address that you can expect to hear from. Any other questions before I let you go?
Catherine, I think there was that one household who had a few other questions that we asked to wait. So just, I don't know if she's still on, but if she is, make sure we don't end it before she gets a chance to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep, so we had one person who wanted to stay for some questions not related to the lottery. So everybody else, have a good night, and you will hear from us by tomorrow morning. I appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. I'm not sure who it was here that wanted to stay after for questions.
Yeah, is that person still on the Zoom? The woman who was asking questions about the permitting and the involvement of Newton, are you still on? If you are, please let us know. Otherwise, we're gonna end this call. I think that's it.
Okay, if nobody else has any other questions, again, just expect to get that email from us either today or tomorrow. And I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good night.